me.
All right, how you doing? Hey, everybody, it's Smitty from Diesel Crew. I have Dustin Denes online, and we're going to talk to him tonight. Dustin, can you give us a little background? I know, for those of you who don't know Dustin, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu third-degree black belt, and I recently came across my boy Zach Evanesh posted a video of his on his blog as far as inspiration, and after I watched it, I knew I had to talk to Dustin, and I've actually been watching his videos nonstop all week. One night I was up past 1 a.m. Just listening to his message because it was so dead on and everything we teach at Diesel. So Dustin actually talked about Dan Gable and how everything in his system goes back to wrestling. Now, Dustin, as a kid, were you a wrestler?
Yeah, I wrestled for a long time when I was a kid. I grew up with wrestling. I actually started in the boxing gym. Spent years in the boxing gym when I was really young. And then when I got into high school, I hit a crossroad there because I had to choose wrestling or boxing. I couldn't do both with school.
Right.
And I was turned on by the wrestling. I liked it was like boxing. It was one-on-one, but it was it got right down to it. It cut through the bullshit.
Right.
And just getting mean, getting after it, getting after gold medals, and digging deep.
Well, tell me, were your parents like really enthusiastic about it? Did they push you? Were they into you, like training so hard as a young kid?
It came natural for me. I wanted to train. I wanted to do something. I tried all the team sports. I tried them all. It wasn't for me. That's when I got into boxing. I got into that one-on-one to where, hey, I want it to be all me.
Right.
If something goes down in my favor, it's all in my favor. If it doesn't, I'm going to pay for it. So that's what I liked about that. When it was boxing, you make a mistake, you get hit for it. If it's wrestling, you make a mistake, you get beat down for it. So, I like that one-on-one, because right there the traffic goes in both directions. If I make them make mistakes or I break them down, I'm going to break them down. I'm going to break them down and bring the pain for real.
That's well, I was watching your videos, like I said, and you just kept talking about making them pay for your hard work, and that's so true. A lot of the guys get out there and they let fear almost paralyze them, before a match, or before a fight, or before a game, and you just talk about flipping the switch and just using all your training and all your hard work as the key to your success. How can you, like, what's the mindset, how do you make that switch as far as, turning off the fear and using all the hard work that you did and just being confident?
I mean, you got to get in there and get after it. Everybody's got the fear. It comes down to some people control it better than others. But the more hard work, the more sacrifice I make, the more confidence I have in myself, because I know I'm out there I've been out there doing for the longest time what others don't want to do. And that all goes back to wrestling, making sacrifice. When I was in high school, started as a freshman, kids are in the lunchroom, and they got, they're doing the high school thing. They got their girlfriend, they got their friends, they're having a good time, they're laughing. I'm out on the track with my homeboys we're running, we're working with my boys from wrestling, like my brothers. Those guys are my brothers. At this point in time in my life, they're my brothers. So I'm there in the field. I'm doing hard time already. We're here in Florida. Wherever you are, the hard time is hard time. Whether you're in Florida under 100-degree sun with a couple sweaters on, maybe you got a plastic bag on under all that, and you're running around the track. You're cutting weight. You got to get in that zone. It's not going to be fun, and better learn to love it. It's going to make it, it's never going to make it easy, but it's going to make you stronger if you learn to love it. There's no easy route on the hard road. So, wherever you are in the world, there's, the hard road's the hard road, whether, where I was under the sun during lunchtime, 14, 15 years old, people are having fun. They got the girlfriend. No, we're working. Why? Because we want to win. We want to kick the other guy's ass. We don't want to lose. We don't want to get our face smashed in the mat. We want to be on the other end of that, delivering, not receiving. And then, if you go up north, wherever you go, you get guys, they're up there, they're not getting the hot sun. They're running out in the freezing cold. Somebody's making sacrifice. Somebody's getting up. What I did also, beside under the sun, getting up, in that age, I was young. People were doing normal things. Those aren't normal. I'm not a normal person. Not everybody can get after gold medals and win gold medals. If everybody could, it would be considered normal. It's not normal. That's something for the big dogs. You want to run with the big dogs, that's how you got to roll. You got to do things different. You got to look to outwork the competition. Like I always say, is the backbone of my system. With the wrestling, the enemy's training somewhere. Somebody's training hard. Looking to beat you, looking to beat whoever the competition is. They're looking to beat their competition. They're out there working to outwork me. No, I'm not having it. So if it means getting under the hot sun, if it means getting up at 4 a.m, going out and running, I go out and run, and I'd be getting back when the kids are coming out for school. I got to go take a shower a lot of those times and go catch the bus myself. But that's what it's going to take. And I can tell you, it was the hard road. It was hard. It was hard. It's called a hard road for a reason. That's grind time. That's time when you're in the zone. It's not fun, but it's going to get my arm raised.
Well,
that's what I want. I want my arm raised. I want that gold medal. I want to be on top of the podium.
Man, a lot of people don't have that fire. I know. Tell me about, as a young man, your wrestling coach showing you that film of Dan Gable. Tell me about that. What did it mean to you?
I tell you that was something else. That was a hell of an experience because coach didn't mess around. We get in that room. It was like 3. When school ended, 3:30, and it's work time. Get over to the ropes, climb ropes. Climb ropes with no legs, working hard, getting down to it. Our warm up was what people call a week of workout. And that was just our warm up. And one day for him to bring us in and skip the warm up and say, "Sit down, guys," we're saying, "What's going on?" Something ain't right because, usually we got hell waiting for us right here. And today we don't. Something's going on. And he sat us down and he put in Dan Gable, competitor supreme. And, changed my outlook, changed everything. Wow, incredible. Really got deep down inside me saying, Dan Gable, he's the ultimate. He is awesome, truly awesome. And
someone you finally looked up to. Was there any other people that you looked up to at that point?
Yeah, my wrestling coach. He was awesome. He's awesome. He's my wrestling coach to this day. My coach in life, great person, and he's got that attitude, and that's he is the reason Coach Eric Davies here in South Florida. He is the reason that I got into jiu-jitsu, I got into fighting. Why? Because I came up short in wrestling. I got burnt out, came up short. Coach was telling me what I needed to do to become a champion. And, I was young. Hey, I know it all. You know, I kind of block